In today's episode of Gardening 101, we started off by visiting a garden that was designed to great success to fit in with the style of the housing estate within which it lies. Now we join Linda Galvad at the Saxon Hotel, Villas and Spa rooftop organic vegetable garden as she shares a foolproof way of growing your own potatoes.
You may have remembered last week we showed you how to grow a sweet potato. This week we're going to focus on a regular potato. It's a completely different growing method, and remember, you can't eat the leaves of a regular potato, but you can with a sweet potato. So what we have here are 3 tubers which we left in our vegetable cupboard, and they started growing little shoots. These are called chits. Now the wonderful thing about this potato here, the first one that we have, is it's quite large, so we're going to cut that in half. There are many different places or environments that you can grow potatoes. You can grow them in the ground, you can grow them in a tub, you can grow them in a bag or tires. We enjoy growing them in bags because when they are ready to harvest, you just turn out the bag and there are all your potatoes easily and available for you to harvest. So let's get started. We've got 3 tubers here. I'm going to cut one in half and then I'm going to show you how to plant it in a bag. We're going to then work through the stages of how to look after our plant until we can leave it alone and it can mature. What we have here is a bag that we're going to use to grow our potatoes in. We've stabbed about 20 holes into the bottom of the bag for drainage, and we've filled it up with 20 centimeters of organic compost. We've got our tubers, we've got 4 of them, and this diameter is about 45 to 50 centimeters, which is a perfect size for these 4 tubers. So I'm going to dig about a 5 centimeter hole, or perhaps a little deeper. All I want is the tops of these shoots to stick above the soil. That's all I need. I'm going to space them evenly. There you go. Just make sure that the tips of these shoots are sticking just above the surface of the soil. Now I'm just going to cover them up. The reason why we roll the sides of the bag down is so that as the plant grows and we fill the bag with more soil, we can roll up the sides of the bag. So it's very, very useful to grow potatoes in a bag. The next stage is to show you when the plant has grown, how to fill the bag up and when to fill the bag up. What we have here is the second stage of the potatoes growth. We have already filled this bag up once, but we're going to do it again to show you how it's done. You want to aim for 17 centimeters of growth. So once the plant reaches about 17 centimeters from above the soil, you fill the bag up right to the top leaf, and you just leave the top leaf sticking out. And from there on, the plant will grow again. Once it's reached its next stage of 17 centimeters, you fill the bag up again. And every time you do that, you can roll up the sides. So I'm going to show you how we fill it up and when to stop. And then we'll roll up the sides just before we start filling it up. So here we have some organic compost, and we're just going to scoop it into the sides. Don't worry about covering the stems. You may think, oh, you're going to suffocate the plant. How potatoes actually form is that all the way along the sides of the stems, that's where the tubers grow. That's why you have to cover the stems, is so that those tubers can develop all the way alongside of the stem. Let's carry on filling it up. Right, so we filled this bag up almost to the top. We're going to water it and then put in our waterer so that it can keep watering on a high drip. This is our drip irrigation system that we have in here, and you need to wait until the plant dies completely. Once that happens, you then are ready to turn out the bag and harvest your potatoes. So let's fill this up. First we're going to water, and then this should last about 2 weeks worth of watering. It does have a capillary action. The soil actually pulls the water throughout the entire surface and slowly drains into the bag. It's a fantastic little system and the potatoes are really happy. What we're going to show you next is the final stage of a bag that is absolutely full and the plant is happy, and it's going to be dying in about a month's time, and the harvest will be ready in about 1.5 to 2 months' time. We're really looking forward to those fresh, delicious organic potatoes. So here we've got a bag in its final stage of growth, this beautiful potato plant. You can see that there's no more room for us to actually unroll. We're going to leave it at this depth. It's got enough soil to grow in. This is going to carry on growing happily, don't worry about it. We're going to fill our water, our drip irrigation, so that it can water the plant for another 2 weeks. It's really important to have your potatoes out in full sun. That's where they enjoy growing. And wait for the plant to die. When it's died completely, you turn out the bag, you can turn it out anywhere, and you harvest your delicious organic potatoes.
After the break, Michael Rickoff is back with another step in designing your garden. This time around, he'll look at introducing height through pergolas.